Hello everyone, my name is John Wannamaker. I'm the founder of New Leaf Alliance Foundation, a criminal justice transparency organization. I'm making this video because Otis Byrd was found hanging from a tree with bed sheets tied around his neck. That's just the preliminary report that CNN has given, but this is a black man found hanging from a tree in Mississippi. I just find that to be the most horrible news out of all of the situations we've currently come across, whether it be Ferguson, whether it be Staten Island, whether it be Madison, whether it be the University of Virginia, whether it be the fraternity in Oklahoma, or whether it be even the Trayvon Martin situation. For us to be returned to a portrait of the Deep South of the 1940s, 50s, and 60s is a tremendous step backwards. So because of that, I'm asking all young black men, regardless of what party you belong to, where you live, what you've been doing, what your level of education may be, I'm asking you to use the nonviolent approach. So you may say, oh, well, nonviolence, that doesn't work. It's worked up until this point. And if we choose to use violence in this situation, if we choose to bring violence to people who have nothing to do with this, if we choose to use violence in order to do nothing but destroy our neighborhoods, I promise you, violence will beget more violence. Whatever violence you use, I promise you, the government will use its own violence, a violence that we cannot have happen in our communities. The greatest thing of what I believe, being a former federal prisoner myself, is that the walls of the prison have come down. The ideas and the mindsets that go on in the prison with the officers to inmate population. I believe that the officer mindset from the prison has made it to the streets. And now in the streets, we're seeing people choked to death. We're seeing people beat with clubs. We're seeing people done with stun guns. We're seeing people lynched. I hate to say it, but this has every sign of possibly being a lynching. I ask you not to return violence in this situation because just like in the prison, the police force is the biggest gang. The police force has the biggest weapons. Regardless of what we think, don't be swayed into thinking violence is the key, because violence is not the key. Violence is only the way that we can all be pushed into felony convictions. We can all be pushed into living a life of substandard. We can all be pushed into second-class citizenship. I ask you not to use violence in this situation because I know that if you use violence, things will only get worse. Otis Byrd didn't kill himself with bed sheets. Regardless of what the investigation may say, a man who spent 32 years in prison does not wait till he gets out to kill himself with bed sheets. A prisoner who's been let out of prison, regardless of how hard life gets or what happens, knows that if he made it through prison, he can always go back to prison and end any situation that's happening in society for him. So I don't believe it. And I'm looking forward to finding out exactly what happened. We'll see. But once again, we don't need any violence in this situation, because violence won't do anything but make the stereotypes of our people come true.